Hello and welcome to our last video for this 8-week workshop series. Our last video is going to be about what are autistic strengths? I think the world thinks so much or puts such an emphasis on what autistic deficit looks like in a neurotypical world and really kind of ignores so many of our strengths unless they're ones that maybe make us billionaires, right? Or really make us skilled workers in software, or mean that we can remember numbers in ways that other people can't. These really kind of, I would say, capitalist skill sets and things that don't actually maybe apply to that many autistic people. But when you get autistic people together, or you even get one autistic person thinking about another autistic person that they love, there is this piece, and that could be self-love, right? Like what I love about myself. All these wonderful traits come out. Like, I love our sense of humor, or I love how we pay attention to all the details that other people don't maybe notice as much, right? As I've been saying throughout this course, we're not a monolith, so not all of us are going to have every single strength, and not all of us are going to have every single trait, and some of us may have the opposite. As I've said before, while being great at math is an autistic trait, there's many people who are better at math than maybe the average population. Many of us are also not very good at math, and dyscalculia, which is a learning disability specific to numbers and math, is really common amongst autistic people as well. So today I will be talking about some of the things that I love about autistic people and autistic culture, but that doesn't mean that it maybe will resonate with every autistic person or be true about every autistic person. I love our special interests. I think it's so cool that when you meet an autistic person, you can be pretty sure that they have something that they just feel super passionate about and they know more about than the average person. And I love working with autistic clients because I end up learning a lot of really accurate and niche information about subjects that I otherwise wouldn't know about. I adore my own special interests. They give me life. They make me want to do more and learn more and share more in the world. I love our pattern recognition, the way that we're able to see patterns. It's part of the DSM diagnosis of autism, and we do tend to both be repetitive people, routine-oriented people, and we notice patterns and things that other people don't see. I'm not thinking of the word. I think it's pareidolia, maybe, but it's one that I need to remember because I reference it enough. But it's where you see faces or objects or things in nature, like in the bark of a tree or in clouds in the sky. And I've always had that ever since I was little. One of my favorite pieces from that movie, Amelie, which many people say is an autistic movie, is the seeing things in the clouds. I love our attraction to fairness and to being aware of kind of justice and fairness outside of social hierarchy. I think it's so cool that many of us are gender or our sexuality is outside of normative culture, that we feel gender or sexuality in our own unique ways. More and more we're seeing statistics that show that autistic people are more likely to be trans, gender expansive, and queer. I love those of us who are in the arts, like the creativity and the arts. And if you know autistic people who are artists, it's just super fun to see how obsessed we can be with creation, obsessed with pushing boundaries, obsessed with our tools and the creative process. Self-stimulatory behavior, stems, so dancing, doing little dances, making movements, songs, sounds, all of the things that we refer to as stems can be super joyous and unfortunately have been pathologized by neuronormative culture. The fact that many of us can read upside down and backwards is really fun. The way that we are data and research oriented, again, kind of goes in with special interests, but even things outside of our special interests, we want the data, we want the information, we want the closure of understanding. We really want to gather all the information together. I love our super senses. Many of us can, hear electricity or smell weather, but also that's one part of being autistic that I would never want to let go of, because I know that I can feel things that many people don't feel. I'm also a synesthete, so I feel things that you wouldn't even hear described in Autistic culture as being something you can feel. For example, like the sounds of words, I feel them in my body as shapes. I can hear things that other people don't hear often, and feel and notice details throughout my life in that sensory way that just feels really significant to me. It feels like it really makes the world more, like I would hate to lose that. I would hate for that to be numbed down. I love our sense of humor. I had mentioned that earlier, the way that we use puns, the way we can be silly, but also our dark humor. Being a part of autistic community and then having a sense of autistic identity can be a real strength, just like it can be for so many members of oppressed groups to kind of step into that power of I like my identity, I like my community. I know that many autistic people are not in that place yet, and maybe won't be in that place where they feel a positive feeling about being autistic. And that's okay too. Like, if that's your reality, that's okay. If you do feel like you would like to feel that way, I really recommend finding mentors who've gone through the process of breaking free of the pathology paradigm around us. So finding a coach or a therapist or even a group that you could work with. I love that we're good weird, strange weird. I love our honesty and clarity, and it can be really wonderful. One of my friends, their autistic son, came over the other day, and they were like, "You're much bigger than I remember you being." And I just thought it was really refreshing to have somebody just speak to you honestly about, oh, your body shape has changed. And it's like kind of outside the ultrafiltration that happens in normative culture. And the clarity of speech. I really enjoy being with other autistic people because I feel like things are just said straight up. There's not a lot of hidden meaning or hiding what we feel or think. And I love that we just jump to talking about deep things. That's very common. Not all autistic people, but it's very common for autistic people to kind of skip over small talk and go right into talking about deep things. Our hyper focus, our monotropic focus, being able to really focus on things that we're interested in, our topics, or even just to follow a thought really fully through, and finding all the connections and finding all of the ways in which whatever subject matter it is that we're following, like really getting to the depth of it. I love that. There are so many things that I feel are autistic strengths. If you have some that you'd like to share, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to be offering this workshop again, but if you're interested in signing up for it, just send me a message and I will get back to you and let you know when I might be doing it again if I end up doing it again. All right, well, thank you everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.